What's up, everyone? Today we checking out another Odd Ones Out video. It's been a long time. I think it's been like a year, 2 years. Nah, I'm exaggerating, but it's been a minute. Let's check this out. The goat who lied to everyone.
Quick, what do we know about goats? They stiffen up and fall over when they're scared? Good, what else? Oh, I know. Their kids have the same name as our kids.
What?
Which is kids. Yeah, that does open the door for some pretty hilarious
They got
puns.
horns?
Anything else? Yes, you in the back? You don't want to stare into their eyes for too long.
Wait, what the hell?
Well, class, I'll admit, you do know a bit about goats, but you're all forgetting the most iconic goat fact of all. You know, their
Greatest of all
goats
time?
scream. Goats scream.
Oh,
Anyone who's
I love it, I
anyone
love
who
it.
knows anything about goats know that these rectangle-eyed demons make weird
Rectangle
human-sounding
eyes?
screams. And we all find these little freaks of nature so funny that screaming goats get referenced in all sorts of media, like commercials and movies. And are still getting referenced as recently as 2024. So why then did Peter Griffin call this a sheep?
Sorry, guys. Somebody emailed me a video of a sheep screaming.
Now that I think about it, Conan O'Brien called this a sheep too.
There's a viral video going around of a sheep. This is real.
And if this really is a goat, why is the original video called The Screaming Sheep?
Is this a conspiracy theory?
In my life, seen a sheep or met a sheep that sounds like this.
Take a good look because this is the face that will haunt your dreams.
What did you see? Lamb.
What in the world?
The worst Super Bowl call in the history of the Super Bowl.
Sorry to burst the bubble, children.
People are saying it's fake and that it's dubbed over.
It's good.
This is real.
Chapter 1.
Is it?
Why did we all think this was a goat? This has to be like one of them Mandela effects, right? You're telling me this unedited 6-second video that shaped an entire generation's perception of what the common barn animal goats scream like wasn't even a goat? Someone's been pulling the wool over all of our eyes. Or maybe the original poster is deceptive and untrustworthy, and this really is a goat. Hey, I'm not gonna stand for you questioning the integrity of the original poster. They would never lie to us. Okay, let's see.
Guess again.
All the other videos on their channel are of sheep. In fact, it's only sheep. I can't even find one stinking goat on this whole stinking
goats have
farm.
horns. They
And
don't
if
have
we get
horns.
real investigating and use an internet archive, we can clearly see that the video was always called The Screaming Sheep. But I'm positive it's screaming goats we love so much, because if you type screaming goats into Amazon, you get all of the screaming goat merch, and if you type screaming sheep, you get
Maybe it's for the branding.
And just
It's
because
the
I have another
branding.
example, in the Shaun the Sheep movie, they had a whole farm of sheep that any one of could have screamed, but it's the one and only goat character that goes. Granted, the sheep in the original video was just recently sheared, so I understand that it doesn't immediately give "this is a sheep" vibes. But were Peter Griffin and Conan O'Brien really the only ones who read the title while the rest of us collectively thought, I think I know what a goat sounds like, and that is definitely a goat. How did we get from a 6-second video of a screaming sheep to all these goats? Chapter 2, The Beginning. According to this Google Trends graph, from 2005 to 2008, no one gave a shit about screaming goats. And that makes sense. No one knew they could do that. But then, just at the start of the 2008 housing market crash,
What the hell?
we see a little bump. I believe this is because videos of
caused it?
animals making unexpected sounds
Like cat videos.
was kind of the thing back then. Videos like Man Goat and Man Argues with Spitting Goat made the rounds from 2008 to 2011, but their success kind of stayed on the internet, you know? Like, they were funny videos, but nothing I'd make a commercial about. 2012 rolled around, and people were done with screaming goats. But one user still had hope that, in time, people would once again care about screaming hooved animals. On the 8th of April, 2012, while everyone was enjoying a nice Easter Sunday on the Screaming Sheep Farms, the YouTube user AJQ2891
showing his ass.
captured the exact moment that their recently sheared Oxford sheep Ophelia let out a humorous and completely genuine scream. Then, for the rest of the day, they painted eggs or something, I don't know.
What the hell?
But then, on the very next day, AJ posted the video for the entire world to witness Ophelia's monumental sheep scream.
What if it's dubbed?
And almost overnight, the video would be seen by no one. And it would stay that way for the next 5 months, until
What the
one
hell?
day when the video would fall upon the eyes of a Redditor. And baby, I'm low on karma. Ophelia's video got posted on Reddit, and then reposted on Reddit, and then
What the
seemingly
hell?
overnight, Ophelia the Screaming Sheep went viral. Ophelia was so beloved that she found herself off the internet too, on places like Conan and this British show RudeTube that I couldn't find clips for because I'm not British. With Screaming Sheep being the next viral sensation, AJQ quickly ran out to the farm, recorded another hilarious scream of Ophelia, and managed to record some of their screaming lambs. Guess that's why it's called the Screaming Sheep Farms. You know, just every animal here has a weird, unnatural
Yo,
scream.
that would be scary.
Honestly, it's a nightmare
Hearing
to
a
live
thousand
with.
goats
Also, we
scream
know
at
it's
night.
Ophelia who stars in the Screaming Sheep too, because we can see she's wearing the same ear tags in both videos. That
Is the
and she
number the
screams like
same?
identically in both videos. But that makes sense. You know, it's the same sheep, so of course it's going to sound the
What
same.
if it's not?
You know how consistent a sheep's screams are these days. We're not really going to be looking a whole lot at these two videos, but they're going to be important later on, so just keep them in the back of your mind. Things were looking great for our girl. She was beloved by millions of people who all found joy in listening to the soothing sounds of her completely genuine sheep scream. Chapter 3. Seriously, why did we all think this was a goat? I wasn't able to find the original Reddit post that exploded Ophelia into stardom, but we do know a Reddit post did exist because it was mentioned in the Screaming Sheep NFT description. Non-fungible tokens? I
That's
don't really wanna
crazy.
get
They're
into that
making
right
everything
now.
into an
If we
NFT.
instead just shift our focus to the NFT's description, we find a lot of useful information. Like, this is the only place I've found where we learn Ophelia's real name.
Oh, wow.
I'm hoping it's accurate. Now,
Nah, I don't
this
think
might
it's
just be
accurate.
how I read things, but when I read, "This is Ophelia. I filmed the Screaming Sheep Easter morning," I was under the impression Ophelia was the name of the person recording, AJQ. Luckily, we have the Screaming Sheep 2's NFT description to clear things up. See, I told you those videos are going to be important later on. Ophelia, the sheep featured in the original, is also the star
the sheep's
of
name
this
is
video.
Ophelia.
Oh, I get it now. This is Ophelia. Like you're pointing at.
And the person recording
This
it
is
too.
Ophelia. Hi, Ophelia. Anyways, getting back to that uncredited Reddit post, I was able to find this Reddit post from September 7th, 2012, but I have reasons to believe it still wasn't the Reddit post. However, this post does give us some valuable insight into what a viral Ophelia Reddit post may have looked like. Already, there were a surprising amount of people who were commenting things like, "Oh, take my upvote, kind stranger. Hey, you know what this video reminds me of? A different screaming goat video!" Since there had already been a precedent of goats being the common barn animal that made weird, unnatural screams, and because Ophelia had the most goat-looking haircut that day, that
Yeah.
if someone told you, this is a goat, you would believe them unquestionably, because why would someone lie about that? Turns out, people lied about it. Ophelia's video was featured in multiple
It's a sheep,
and
yeah, it
extremely
doesn't have the
popular
horns.
goats screaming like people compilations. And I can't really blame the people who made these compilations because they couldn't make a whole separate sheep scream like people compilation. I've only found one other video of a sheep screaming that wasn't on AJQ's channel, and that's not enough to make a whole compilation. Misinformation about Ophelia's species was rampant. No one had an NFT description to fact check because honestly, the concept of that is kind of insane. They just had to trust reputable news sources like Anderson Cooper to get his facts right. And even he couldn't do that.
Now, I've seen a lot of creepy goats on YouTube, like this one.
That's not a
Chapter
goat.
4. I knew you were trouble. In February 2013, the YouTube user Goosick had the brilliant idea of editing Ophelia's scream over a popular Taylor Swift song.
What the
Don't
hell?
you wish you thought of something like that, AJQ? Replacing the audio of something with a goofier and unexpected sound.
That's like a
People
sample.
are so creative. I wish I could show you the specific
I wanna
edit
listen
that I'm
to
talking
it.
about, but I know Miss Swift won't like it if I play even a second of her song. So we're just gonna have to do this. Never mind, I don't want to do this. I'm just going to assume you've already seen the edit that I'm talking
didn't
about
see it.
because it was viewed by everyone. Everyone saw this edit.
I'm getting FOMO
Taylor
now.
Swift saw this edit, and she liked it.
It's good.
I know I don't usually tell stories about my personal life, but if you'll allow me this one time, I remember one night in 2013 being at a high school dance, and
high
the
school
Taylor
dance?
Swift Goat song came on, and right when the beat dropped, all the teachers supervising hadn't a clue why the entire school screamed. It was because we were all mimicking that hilarious screaming sheep. Now, the issue with all of this is that Goosick titled their video, "I Knew You Were a Goat When You Walked In." So history's changed forever.
Whoa.
February 2013 was the start of the screaming goat meme. During this time, there were plenty of real videos of real goats making real screams that were also shared and beloved by people. But there's no denying
But the
that
sheep.
Ophelia's scream was the goat of goat screams. And
But
she's
it's not a goat.
even a goat.
Yeah.
YouTubers react to goat remixes, commercials featuring screaming goats. Hey, what animal did they get in YouTube Rewind 2013 to scream? Oh, that's right, it was the...
Yeah.
As much as AJQ tried to remind people of Ophelia's species in the description, the damage was already done, and the meme had gone completely out of their control. You might think that, like any other meme, people would have their fun with it,
that one
but
meme.
eventually they'd move on. But that didn't happen
People
with
didn't
this
move on?
particular meme. No, Ophelia's goat scream was about to find a new home in Hollywood.
Hollywood? What the f...
In November 2014, something happened that caused people's interest in screaming goats to massively spike up. And I have no clue what caused that. I don't know.
The
It's one
internet?
of those unsolvable mysteries, I suppose. Look, in all of my research, I couldn't find anything significant that would have caused this massive spike. So think back. Did you ever use Google to search for screaming goats in November 2014? And if so,
I was
why?
so little
But
that
while
time.
we're
I
looking
didn't
at the
even
Google
care
Trends
about
graph,
goats.
only 3 months later, we see another bigger peak in interest at
Oh, what the
February 2015. And I think I
caused
know
that?
what caused that. If I had to pick the most important date in Screaming Goat history, February 1st, 2015 would be like in the top 5. Solid A tier for sure.
What the
On that
hell? You're
specific
ranking
Sunday,
dates now?
3 different companies all released commercials referencing screaming goats.
Oh, the
How did I
Geico
know
one.
it was
I've seen
Sunday?
that.
Because it was Super Bowl Sunday, baby! You
Ah!
know, the season finale of football that gets around 114 million viewers. It's such an important football game that companies will pay top dollar for a couple seconds of ad space. And the 2015
Damn.
Super Bowl Xlix, aired 2 Screaming Goat commercials. One of them just using the original clip of Ophelia,
Are they
which I'm
allowed to
still
do that?
counting as a Screaming Goat commercial because the iSpot.tv page for this ad credits Ophelia as a goat. And that third non-Super Bowl commercial was just part of a Geico campaign, and they played a different ad from that campaign at the Super Bowl, but could you imagine if they played the goat one instead? That would have been so cool. Now, a new and bigger audience of people who watch sports, all believe that goats are the ones who scream like that. The reason this Super Bowl is so important to the Screaming Goat historian community is because this was the game that every animation studio executive watched and simultaneously agreed that screaming goats were the funniest, freshest thing ever. Think about it.
So they started
You're an
using it in
animation studio
animations.
executive. You see 2 Screaming Goat commercials during the same football game. A couple days later, you see a 3rd Screaming Goat commercial. Hey, isn't it almost Chinese New Year? What animal is it this time? Oh, that would be the year of the goat. Within the next 3-ish years,
Oh my
screaming
fucking
goats
God,
were
man.
referenced in animated movies at a rate I've never seen memes
Yeah,
get
that's
referenced
crazy.
in animated movies before. Didn't escape screaming goats if you tried. Thor 4 beat you over the head with them.
That's
And
crazy.
they might be in Marvel Rivals, but I couldn't get these goats to scream when I played.
Come on, scream.
He's actually trying to make him scream.
My theory is that people complained about it, so they took it out. But now I'm going to complain about it for them to put it back in. And it really gets my goat that goats are remembered as the common barn animal who make that iconic scream. And it's unfair that calling someone a goat is a compliment, but calling someone a sheep is an insult. Goats have already taken enough from sheep. I need to calm down. Oh. So, what do you say, Ophelia?
That's so facts, though.
Think you can belt
He's
one more
speaking
out
facts.
for us? For old time's sake?
Bah.
Come on, girl. Do the scream.
Yeah.
What was that?
Fuck?
Yeah.
What
Stop
the
that.
fuck?
Yeah.
Ophelia,
A new
why aren't you
meme.
screaming? You were the one who screamed in the original video, right?
Yeah.
Chapter 6, working title, Deception. I'm not proud to
Probably
admit
not
this,
her.
but sometimes I'll watch a video at 2 times speed. You know, like an iPad kid. But then YouTube will remember I did that and think I want to watch every video that fast. So it wasn't that jarring when I pulled up the original video and noticed
Ophelios.
Ophelia was obviously sped up. It's only became jarring when I realized the video was playing at the normal speed. I caught this on like my 40th rewatch, but this is clearly sped up, right? I didn't do anything to this. This is how the clip has always been. So that means
What?
at some point, this video was put into a video editing software and underwent video manipulation. But that doesn't automatically mean Ophelia didn't hilariously scream. AJ just wanted us to hear the scream sooner. That's why they sped up the footage. And okay, I will
There's
admit
some
that it is
manipulation.
a little weird that at the start of the video, we can hear the background noises like the wind and other farm animals. But when Ophelia starts screaming, everything kind of just cuts out. But that's probably just because Ophelia screamed so loudly that it drowned out all the background noise. I don't know what a
There's a lot in this
spectrogram is.
conspiracy.
And all right, I do find it intriguing that
Yo, he's
Ophelia's
going-
scream sounds identical to the scream this cartoon fox made in the short film Pop by Bernard Derriman
Damn, why did they...
that came out 2 years
Why'd they blur that?
before AJ's video. But maybe Bernard just used a recording of his own Oxford sheep. You know how similar a sheep's screams are these days. I, for one, would never accuse AJQ of faking this important piece of history that has brought joy to millions of... What's that? They already found the source of the original scream? Stock sound effect from Apple released in 2008?
What?
Yeah, can I call you back?
No.
So that means
No.
it was never a screaming
No.
goat.
I kind of thought that
It's
too.
always been a silent sheep. A classic example of a lie within a lie. I, of course, was not the first person to crack this case. People were suspicious of Ophelia's authenticity within the first 5 YouTube comments. No, the diligent internet detective who cracked this case and found the original scream was none other than...
Well, I'm sorry to burst
Oh,
the bubble,
him.
children, but those are sound effects.
So now he's involved in all of this. He's gonna need his own page on the wiki. If this is how you found out that one screaming goat video from 2012 is fake, I'm sorry. I know getting lied to
That's
is upsetting,
sad, man.
but try imagining what it would feel like if everyone thought you were a goat when really you were a sheep. You know what else is fake? Most of the things on the internet. But you know what's not fake?
That guy, the
The
meat
smiles
guy, what's his
Ophelia
name?
gave you. If
Muscle
AJQ
King.
told us from
Liver
the very
King.
beginning that the video was edited, why can't I say that? Would we have even listened to them? We didn't listen the whole time they told us Ophelia was a sheep. I don't think I could sum up my thoughts any better than the YouTube user Just Bored puts it. No shit's fake. This is just supposed to be funny. So the next
true.
time you inevitably see a screaming goat referenced in an animated movie, I hope you cringe, not because the joke isn't funny, but because you know it was never a goat that made that sound, but rather a sheep that also never made that sound.
It was
Chapter
just-
7. other
Adobe.
things I wanted to mention,
Ah,
but couldn't
live
find a
action
good spot
time.
for them. So I'm just going to list them off while opening Screaming Goat merch. In
Oh, it's
YouTube
an actual
Rewind
goat
2013,
eating the
they
paper.
got goats to reference Ophelia's sheep scream. But they also
Now I
had a
know why
goat
they say
make
my
this
goat ate my
sound,
homework.
which is referencing a different viral video called Yeah Lamb.
Yeah.
So in YouTube Rewind 2013, they had goats steal the spotlight from not only sheep, but also lambs. You're how old? Oh my God, it's
What the
moving.
hell?
The very first Screaming Goat reference in media I could find was on May 9th, 2015 from episode
Yo, I
25
wanna have a
of
goat.
Sonic Boom. In case you needed an emergency goat. Ooh, what's in my hand? And then there's also this one. Have you ever made this sound? We have
Shit, he's trying to eat it.
Screaming Goat button
Oh shit!
that needs batteries. Wait, no, I just need to pull this. That was anticlimactic. Oh wait, I need to turn it on. Okay, now Star, can you do the honors? The Screaming Sheep 1 NFT was sold
He's
at
like, what the
2.9
fuck you looking
Ethereum,
at?
which I believed influenced AJQ to sell the Screaming Sheep 2 NFT
What you looking
at
at?
10 times the price, starting the bid at 29 Ethereum. And if you think it's crazy, someone would pay 10 times the amount for a viral, I can't read the card. If you think it's crazy that someone would spend 10 times as much on a sequel to a viral video, then you're absolutely right, because no one bought the NFT. Except for right now, you're looking at the proud owner of the Screaming Sheep 2 and I'm just kidding, I didn't do that.
Nah, he did,
Said
he did.
screening. I'm here with Scout, the mother of Star from Party Goats LA. Have you heard of a goat make that sound before?
I have heard something similar, like if they're in distress, especially if they get left alone. Here's a fun fact for you. The way you can tell the difference between a goat and a sheep is actually by looking at their upper lip. Goat's upper lip is not split. The sheep's upper lip is split, and that helps them eat
shit.
grasses. And it's actually called the philtrum. But goats don't have it. So if you ever have a question, just
He's
look at their
sleeping.
upper lip, and if it's split and it looks like it's just kind of a cleft right there, right under their nose, that's how you can tell the difference.
Star, what do you
Oh,
think?
that's crazy.
We are Party Goats LA. We do all kinds of things, everything goat and sheep related here in Los Angeles. We do brush clearance, parties, events, send a surprise goat with our goatgram, goat yoga, hiking with goats, pretty much
damn.
anything people want to do.
Hey, thanks for watching this video. Big thanks to everyone who worked.
Well, that looks like the video. The goat who lied to everyone. The sheep who lied to everyone. That's a huge lie, man. The biggest lie in internet history. Just lying about the goat thing. But something good came out of all this. We got some funny references to have in movies, right? I mean, a lot of movies recreated the goat scream, so I mean, that's forever gonna be in my heart. But let me know what you guys think about this video. Do you think it's actually a sound effect? Maybe it's not a sound effect. Who knows? Like, maybe someone's just lying or something. But yeah, without further ado, that's me checking this out. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.